Democrats lead by barely 90,000 votes. And that's it. Yeah, in just 4 years, it swung 300,000 voters in North Carolina. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back in with a new video, and I hope everyone is having a great day. I'm having a great day myself, and before I get into it, don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, join the channel today. These are all great ways to support the daily content, but enough of the promotional stuff. Let's get into it, because we have brand new voter registration data, and it is horrific for Democrats. And I know we've been saying this basically every month since, honestly, the last, 5 years. It seems like every update for the last, 5 to 6 years, it has been getting worse and worse and worse for Democrats. But by some miracle, it got even worse for Dems post-election. So these numbers, they're from the month of December, and it got even worse for Democrats. Look at these numbers from North Carolina, okay? In the month of December, Republicans gained just under 7,000 voters. Democrats gained only 500. That's it. Not just in one county, not just in a couple, in the entire state of North Carolina, a swing state, mind you. Republicans outgained Democrats by nearly 6,500 voters. Right now, the Democrat advantage in North Carolina is only 90,000 votes. That's it. For those that don't know, look at the book closing back in 2020, 2022, 2024, and you realize something. There's been a consistent trend towards the GOP every single year, even post-election. Now, I should be clear that voter registration isn't everything. I understand that a lot of people should be careful with voter registration because it can be misleading. But at the same time, it still is a very good indicator for future results. It's not always perfect, but look at what happened in Florida. Florida for years had this huge, just insane Democrat advantage. But in recent years, the Republican Party, they not only closed the gap, they flipped it, and they're up by like 1 million votes now. And now, Republicans made Florida a Republican stronghold. So voter registration, while it's not everything, it can be misleading, there are other factors at play, this is still not good for Dems. Look at 2020. In 2020, Biden lost the state by like a point, okay? So you would think the voter registration would be close. It wasn't. In 2020, it wasn't even Republican. It wasn't even a small Democrat lead. Democrats led voter registration by nearly 400,000 votes. 2022, they led by 276,000 votes. And in November of 2024, they led by roughly 105,000 votes. Right now, with the current update with voter registration, Democrats lead by barely 90,000 votes. And that's it. Yeah, in just 4 years, it swung 300,000 voters in North Carolina. That's a big deal. That's not just a small trend. That's not just a fluke. That's a consistent trend every single month. It's gotten worse and worse and worse for Democrats every single update. And this is post-election. And I know you could argue, well, maybe because Democrats are demoralized, which that's part of it. Some Democrats, they're just done right now. But wouldn't you think that Republicans hit their ceiling? Like, if 2024 was like a Trump wave, he won the popular vote, won all these swing states, wouldn't you think that at the bare minimum, these trends should just slow down a little bit? Not accelerate in some areas? I mean, we're not talking about Republicans gained slightly more. They outgained Democrats by 6,000 votes. That's a big deal. If you continue that every single month, which they more than likely won't, by the end of 2025, you're talking about the state possibly being within like 20,000 votes of flipping. And if that happens, well, we all saw what happened in Florida. 5 years ago, it was like Democrats led by 1 million votes. And then Democrats, their lead went down and down and down. And at one point, Republicans flipped it. And ever since then, it's been a Republican stronghold. Will the same thing happen in North Carolina? We just gotta see, but these trends are horrific. And speaking of Florida, look at this. A brand new update, and by some miracle, it got even more Republican. Listen, I have no clue how this happened, but post-election, when Trump won the state by 13 points, all right, Republicans led by roughly 1 million voters. Since then, Republicans have gained a net gain over Democrats of 80,000 voters. In the month of December, Republicans gained 8,000. Democrats lost nearly 11,000 voters in just 1 month. In the month of December in Florida. I mean, this is crazy. These trends in Florida should have slowed down even a little bit, because you would think that this was the ceiling, or at least, getting close to the ceiling. But no, in fact, it's actually accelerated and became even more Republican post-election. I mean, at this point, Florida's gone for Dems. I don't care what some Democrats claim. This state's gone. This state is a Republican stronghold. It's getting even more Republican post-election, and it looks like the trends are accelerating. I mean, this is not good for Democrats, but let's keep going. Let's go to Colorado. The state that has been trending heavy to the left for years now? It's a state where all the Democrats go to now. They don't go to Texas. In fact, a bunch of Democrats from Florida, from Texas, from Sunbelt states like that, they're leaving those states, or they're not going to those states at all. They're going to Colorado, because that's their version of Florida. Like, everyone's fleeing California, New York, the liberals are, and they're moving not to Florida anymore. They're moving to Colorado. Well, look at this. In the state of Colorado, Republicans have gained 1,000 votes. Democrats have lost nearly 4,000. Yeah, Colorado. This state, in recent years, has become more of a Democrat stronghold. And again, I'm not saying this means that Republicans will flip the state, but even in Colorado, Republicans are accelerating their trends in voter registration while Democrats are collapsing. Look at this. Just in 2024, Democrats led by 110,000 votes. Right now, that's swung 7,000 votes to the right. Now, again, it is Colorado. It's still going to move to the left. But the fact that Democrats are struggling in Colorado, it's like, wait, what? This is a state that's been trending to the left for years now. But by some miracle, the Republican Party, they're actually growing in voter registration while Democrats still lose. And you could argue part of that is the independent voter being a bit to the left. I understand that, but this is Colorado. This is not a state that should be swinging Republican like Florida or Texas. And let's keep going to other Democrat states. Let's look at the state of New Mexico, which I know it is trending to the right. It is a state that we could flip maybe down the line, though it's still kind of unlikely. But either way, it's still a state that Harris won by 6 points. And since the election, or in the month of December, I should say, Republicans have gained 2,000 voters. Democrats have lost 214. So Democrats, they're basically at a flat line. They're not really gaining, but at the same time, they're not growing. And in the month of November of 2024, Democrats led by 154,000 votes. Now, that lead is down to 143,000. Now, does that mean that every single month the GOP is going to gain like 3,000 in New Mexico? No. But the fact is, even in a state like New Mexico, which there are signs that maybe Republicans down the line could maybe win the state, they're surging there. I mean, look at November 2020. Democrats led by 185,000 votes. 2022, 177,000 votes. 2024, 155,000 votes. And in 2025, right now, only 143,000. Just like the other states, this is a consistent trend. It's not just one real good month for the Republican Party and that's it. It's been trending to the right for years. And in fact, it's accelerating post-election. Again, voter registration is not everything, but the trends are important. They indicated that the state of Arizona, which in recent years has been becoming a purple state, even a Democrat state in some circumstances, it swung heavy to the right. And the voter registration actually predicted that. Same thing with Florida. Same thing with a bunch of these other states that many people have been saying, oh, they're going to become a Democrat state. But the voter registration in these states, they're not good for Democrats, not just in one of them. There's not a single state that Republicans are doing bad in while Democrats are surging. The only one they could argue maybe is, for whatever reason, in the month of December, Republicans only outgained Democrats in Iowa by only 2,000 votes. But even then, since the election, Republicans' lead in Iowa has gone up by 18,000 votes. So even in Iowa, which is not as big as other states, for the swing, it's still trending to the right. There are no positives anywhere. I mean, we're not just talking about Florida and, Colorado. We're talking about North Carolina, New Mexico. And I'm curious, what are the numbers in Arizona, Nevada? Those are actual swing states. I mean, if they're trending this much to the right, I mean, there's no positives here. None of these states look good for Democrats whatsoever. It's a consistent trend, and in fact, it's accelerating. If this continues, Democrats are going to have a real tough time winning any election in these states. Because, again, voter registration is not everything, but it's a predictor, it's an indicator, it's a trend, especially if it's every single month. If it's just 1 month, okay, it's a fluke. If it's 2 months, all right, maybe it's still a fluke. But if you have 4 years, no, if not like 8 years worth of data, and it's a consistent trend, that's not a fluke. That's an indicator. That's a trend that, hey, maybe something's going to happen down the line. Maybe the state of Florida becomes a Republican state, which it did. Maybe the state of Colorado, or I should say New Mexico, maybe New Mexico down the line, it could be a swing state again. Imagine saying that 5 years ago. I know it sounds crazy, but these numbers are horrific for Dems. There's nothing positive here. They're losing, or at best are slightly gaining outside of Iowa, and every state they're getting crushed. And it's been a trend for years now. That's not good for Dems. And again, it's not the end of the world for Dems, but it's like, again, you don't want to have these voter registration trends accelerate like they currently are, because it happened in Florida, and ever since then, Democrats have been playing catch up, and they just cannot catch up because they're so far behind that they don't got enough votes. There's not enough voters to flip or to register now for Dems. Republicans, meanwhile, they still have a shitload of voters to register. So things could get even worse for Democrats in a couple of years. But Republicans got to keep this up. If they do, if they keep swamping the voter registration numbers like this, Dems are in deep trouble. They are in deep, deep, deep trouble down the line. Because we're not just talking about 1 or 2 states. It's every single state. Republican states, Democrat states, the critical swing states. They're all showing the same trends. Now, we do got to see what happens, because maybe it's just Democrats are demoralized. But at the same time, it's like, okay, if Democrats are demoralized, that's one thing. That might explain why they're going down so much. But look at Republicans. They are gaining so many voters, and this didn't happen post-2020. Democrats did not have this magical surge in voter registration like Republicans had. Like, yeah, Democrats went up a little bit, but Republicans, they're surging. But again, we will really see what happens in 2026, 2027, 2028, because maybe this is a fluke. But to me, it looks like it's just a continuing trend in all of these states. Democrats are in deep, deep, deep trouble. But who knows? Maybe it's a fluke in Republicans. They're not actually surging. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Godspeed to all of you.